So I got the job. I'm a roughneck for precision drilling, and I just finished my first half hitch a couple days ago. I had like 2 days off basically, so I finished my night shift and then started driving from like Peace River straight to Airdrie, and it was like an 8 hour drive. I didn't make it in one shot. I had to take a nap in Red Deer. Got back, I was so tired. Holy fuck! I worked hard, but this is like normal rigging kind of effort, and I'm just so deconditioned from working in an office for the last like 11 months. So anyway, I have to like condition myself for this again. So the idea too is like you work from 6:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. and then you sleep for whatever. Like I've been getting average like 5-6 hours of sleep a night because I want to wake up really early to make sure I got my food ready, and I'm amped as soon as I wake up. The adrenaline is intense because it's new for me. And then the last day, I mean, the type of work is like you're tripping out pipe, you're tripping in pipe on the floor, so you're doping the pin, you're stabbing the pipe to trip in, tripping out, you don't stab nothing, you just kind of mud can. So you grab this fucking thick piece of plastic with these two um, gaskets basically, and you close it around the pipe because when they pull the string, right, all the water falls down and it fucking splashes everywhere. So you want to protect the driller basically. So you squeeze that with your pecs and you lift it up kind of. So I'm really glad my labrum rehab has gone pretty well. Like nothing's really bothering me for my left shoulder, which is amazing. Actually, my right knee though has completely blown up on me. So the last day I worked at 12 and then drove home. So I was up for like 28 hours before I got home. But right when I got home, what I did was I went on DuckDuckGo and I looked up places where I could get a Cingal injection, which is hyaluronic acid and cortisone, and so it's like a time-release cortisone injection. So what I did was made the appointment, and I explained my situation. I need this thing like ASAP. I need this thing right now so that I can go back to the rig. And so they were like, you need a requisition, so if you can go to like a walk-in tomorrow morning, perfect. So I said, okay. I went to Properties Medical Clinic where I used to go when I was a kid, and I got one of the doctors there. I didn't get the doctor that I usually used to see, but anyway, the doctors there are pretty cool. They remember me, right? So I'm in there telling them what's up, and they looked at my previous medical history and they saw that I had an MRI done in 2014, and they said, oh yeah, you've had a Baker's cyst since 2014. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't even know that. But it's been like since then, it's gotten way worse. So basically, what I had to do was pull a bunch of fluid out of the Baker's cyst in the middle of my hitch because it got so swollen, so fucking large. I couldn't bend my leg in order to get down to the ground level. So I had to pull all the fluid out manually, like in the hotel room, so I could keep crouching down and do my job. So I did that. First round, I think I got 27 mils of fluid out. I had to get 10 mil syringes, and I used the 21 gauge, 1.5 inch long needle, and you just kind of get in there. And then by the time you're done all the tissue, basically, once you're inside the cyst, it doesn't feel like anything because you're just in fluid, right? So you just poke it in there and you suck out. So that went pretty well. And then it was a fairly good extraction. And then I noticed like there was still quite a bit of fluid. So 2 days later, I went in with an 18 gauge and I put 3 holes in it, and I sucked out 17 mils of fluid, but it leaked a lot. I think it leaked like another 5 to 7 mils of fluid. So anyway, I got about 50 mils of fluid out of my leg, and I could crouch down. I mean, it hurt like a bitch because there's some kind of intra-articular lesion that's causing the inflammation and causing the excess buildup of synovial fluid. So I need to go for some, basically the shot was $600. It was a private thing. So I went and got that done. And the process looking forwards is going to be book myself in for a private MRI so that I can get it like same day, $600. You just go and pay, and then you get that imaging done. And thank God for private, because otherwise I'd be fucked. They make you wait for like a year for that. Then you'd have to wait for a year for the consultation with the surgeon. Then you wait maybe another year for your surgery. So anyway, I'm going to get the imaging done probably the next hitch or two, and then I'm going to get the consultation with the surgeon right after that. So maybe on the same set of days off, maybe on the following. So it's going to be a bit of a process, but I have a lot of confidence that we're going to get a correct diagnosis. Like, what is the issue in the knee? Is there my suspicion is that the medial meniscus is basically worn all the way down. It clicks, cracks, and catches, and then sometimes it'll just stop clicking and cracking. So you got a bit of that. And after releasing all the pressure too, there's a lot more loosey-goosey weird stuff going on inside of there. I think the pressure was keeping everything like seated and tight. Yeah, we will see. We'll just see what it is. I have my presuppositions, but it can be, you know what, I could put those to rest after we get the imaging and after I have the consultation. So that's cool. Again, shoulder not giving me a bunch of issues. I did some standing strict with the truck setup at the hotel on like day one, but I don't think, I'm so tired after rigging, man. I left most of my weight back at a friend's house in Airdrie, and I'm just gonna bring the easy bar with something like 100 some odd pounds, and I'm just gonna pound away with that. It's enough. Like, you're working your cunt off. Like, I have such a big pump by the time I'm done work, and it's like light, high volume work. Like, the guys were right. You don't really have, you got nothing left at the end of the day. So what I'm going to be trying to do is getting in a little bit of training before work. So if I really need to load up a leg, say I have about 100 pounds for the easy bar, I can just do unilateral stuff with like 100 pounds. So that means I'll be able to get about 200 pounds equivalent. So about 100 pounds a leg. So that's cool. I can also do like high rep stiff leg stuff. I can also set up banded stuff. You know, I could just lift stuff at work and pretend it's training, which I've been doing. Say the dope bucket is like 35 pounds, like curl the dope buckets and stuff. And then, you know, you fill up the mop bucket, I'll carry one load on the left, one load on the right. You fill up pails with rocks. I think that's like 75 pounds a side, maybe a little more. I don't know. It's heavy as fuck though. You lift up 2 of those and you feeling like pretty compressed in your spine. So it's almost like training, you know. There's a lot of areas that you get hit, a lot of volume. So stepping down from the wings, we'll call it the wings of the platforms. Basically, there's all these buildings and they have these wings with these drop-offs that like lead to the rig mat, and those are like 16 inches, 12 inches, and you have to like step down with your toe, so you're catching yourself with your calf all the time. So like my calves are getting a shitload of work, a lot of stiff leg deadlift type of movements, and then a lot of like unilateral heavy carries with like going up and down stairs, climbing shit. It's a lot of work. So realistically, you could get away with not really training too much. Just pick a couple heavy things and like loading and unloading the wood skid. Like, you know, that's high volume, heavy duty work. So anyway, not to go on about it forever, but that's kind of where I'm at. On my days off, I'm doing 5x5, and the idea is I'm going to be hitting the muscles that don't get hit very much on the rig. So, you know, I don't get a lot of chest press. I'll be focusing on a lot of chest press. I don't get a lot of overhead press. I'll be doing a little bit of overhead press. I don't get a lot of quad extension, like a deep quad extension. I'll be trying to get some deeper quad extension. Just stimulus for the muscle. I get a lot of hamstring. I get a lot of erectors, and I get a lot of like flexors for the forearms. And then I get a lot of like front raise type stuff, but I don't get a lot of like pressing overhead, and I don't get a lot of like bicep curl. I don't get a lot of tricep work. So I'm going to try to also do like, it's like lat pull downs, presses, overhead presses, quad work, and then anterior chains. So like abs and hip flexors. So that's where I'm going to put my focus. But anyway, I'm headed to the fucking gym right now. Let's see. Can I reverse this mid-set? No. I'm going to head into Genesis before I go to Drayton Valley for my next hitch. I got something like 8 or 9 days in front of me. And I'm going to do my best. I'm going to make sure that the guys know I'm here to work, and I'm not going to let them down. So let's get in there. Let's get the training done. Today is lats, and I might do a little bit of overhead and a little bit of fluff for the quads. The knee is actually feeling pretty good after that shot. It hurt a lot after the shot, like quite a bit, but it's 2 days later, and the relief is starting to become very noticeable. So I'm just going to ride that and see if I can get a little stimulus for the quads, a little stimulus for the hamstrings, and I can do adductors and abductors in the hotel room. It's pretty easy. So I'll leave whatever I can do outside of the gym for outside of the gym, and I'll do whatever I have to do here because it's hard to hit other places. I'll do it here. So that's what I'm going to do. Do what you can, focus on what you can hit, and just remember, this is about getting through the financial strife so that I can get back to lifting full time and maybe getting my knee figured out in the meantime, which would be a big bonus. So let's get it.
So I'm only posting top sets because the whole workup is just too tedious with the whole explanation of what's going on in my personal life. So this is $295 for 12. Felt pretty good. I don't know. I just saw the trap bar and said it's a really comfortable movement. So I thought instead of doing like a in front pendulum barbell style row, I was just going to choose something that's a little bit more comfortable for my low back because work has been really intense in my low back. I'm not going to lie. So I just wanted to like push it without wrecking it. And this was my workaround. So $295 for 12. It actually felt pretty good. It felt like I could have kept on going, but 12 felt like a good spot to end. from a bit of a deficit. So like the pick is right from the feet. And then this is overhead press. I did some bench I didn't film the day prior, but it's not very noteworthy. But anyway, I did 5x5 with 115 pounds, but the top set I decided to slap on 135 and just rep it out. So I got 13, which is pushing it forwards, right? So I'm filming this a couple weeks after the fact, but I have pushed it further since then, so this is good progress for me.